Hey, Tree Sprites. The only thing that is going to save Black women from the mental shackles, the mental slavery of white supremacy is learning self love. And also by understanding what self love is. Because self love does not always equate to safety or public validation. In fact, the more you love yourself, the more you have to validate yourself because typically the more you are going against the grains of society. Because society is dead and we're alive. Because zombies are always going to come after the living to turn the living into the dead. It's not something that you have to understand. It's not something that you have to explain. It's just how they are. The dead consume the living. When you choose to embrace your own authenticity, those that have energetically sold themselves into oppressive systems are going to notice you. You are going to reflect to them their own soullessness and their own inadequacies and their own lack of self-love. Existing in a mindless, inauthentic, false state is only comfortable if everyone else around you is doing it too, which is why Black women, being their full, authentic, bright, shining selves, seems to be such a threat to society. So, what is self love? What does it look like? It is when you hold esteem for yourself, when you hold your own well being, your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual safety, as well as your own view of yourself above the opinions and thoughts of all other people in the world. And no, it's not always easy to develop your own sense of self against the entirety of humanity. But this is only because of the indoctrination and the programming that we go through during our childhood and young adulthood. And you can see this in very young children, typically before they start school. Usually, 3 and 4-year-olds don't concern themselves about the opinions of others before they make decisions, before they go after what they desire, what they want. And this is why connecting with your own inner child can help you recenter back into self. A lot of people in general have completely lost their sense of self, have lost their minds and their souls, and have become screws and cogs of the machines of oppression. But Black women, we cannot afford to be supportive pieces of systems that actively destroy us. The most difficult thing that you can ever be in a zombie apocalypse is a living person, a living being. And at this stage of the game, that's all that there is left for us to do. We have to embrace ourselves as we are. We have to be authentic. We have to love everything about ourselves and cease to view us through the lenses of those that seek our destruction. While assimilation can make our lives superficially more comfortable, ultimately it is just another pathway of destruction. We are soul beings. We are vibrant. We are manifestations of the earth. And the earth is always alive and colorful and authentic and vibrant. Practicing self-hatred and anti-Blackness in the pursuit of gaining proximity to whiteness and to get the approval of white supremacy is absolutely not what our ancestors intended for us when they revolted, when they rebelled in the face of certain death. Never forget how much they suffered to fight for our liberation. Because even though they were not free physically in their bodies, they were free in their souls. And now we seem to have come to a place where we are free in our bodies, but we are enslaved in our minds and our souls. It's your own choice whether when you look in the mirror, when you perceive yourself, to perceive what those who want to destroy us see. Or when you look at yourself, you can perceive the manifestation of earth. You can see the intentions and the magic and the creativity of nature. Being concerned about your authenticity, limiting your social mobility, can easily be alleviated by embracing community. Because no matter how much we shuck and jive and code switch and pour bleach and acid all over ourselves, no matter how much we continue to put plastic braiding hair in our heads, now even knowing that it is a confirmed carcinogen, corporate America is always going to view us and treat us as disposable. All that self-destruction. And for what? When we learn to love ourselves, we learn to love each other, and we become our own social mobility. We become our own privilege because we love what we see when we look at each other, because we are reflections of each other. Anti-Blackness in the Black community, especially in Black women, is just a form of self-harm and self-hatred. It is destructive, it is unproductive, and honestly, it's boring. Y'all ain't tired of this yet. So, if you haven't already, start with finding ways that you can usurp the ideology of white supremacy by prioritizing and spoiling your own self, by uplifting and loving your own image with toddler-like confidence, because you are the only one living your life. You are the only one in your body, and you are the only one experiencing the sensations of your life and of your body. The evolution of self-love in Black women, and by extension Black people, is the revolution, is liberation. Comfortability and public validation will never bring us happiness, will never spark joy in our lives. And joy and love and happiness are the meaning of life. We are not here to chase and obtain superficial approval and validation from those who will never understand us or our lives or our experiences, and also refuse to do so. We are taught that success is assimilation and that happiness is not necessary. But this is only true if your goal in life is to become another mindless, walking dead entity. The choice is always yours, Tree Sprite. Subscribe to Black Barn Owl, link in the bio, and I'll see you in Always.